Oh, yes, the nation I have again, because okay, Zombeka. But no need to and we'll come up this day. Waishaba we manayo. Waishaba we manayo. Usibizela mapulu esilwa nayo. Jesus. Anye. But that's all my business. That's good as a pet. Oh, I don't know what I'm saying. This I okay, I sabang ukuthi sesingaqala basalungisa lana ongumshini ongumshini likamenzwe eSwatini. Mina ngiswathi impeleni half Swati half Zulu half Xhosa. Angazi ngoba ukwazi ukubona ngafaka u3 kodwa ke mathematics is mathematics. Igama ngumenzi kaBhulu Maseko ozalwa kwakhona la eSiqhawini kwaMashu kodwa mkhulu lesilungu side. So I'm Zulu morning side kwaMashu. Swati. So I embraced my Swati identity very quickly. I embraced my Swati identity around age 30, which was many years ago. I discovered this. Oh, Maseko Bakume Swati. They've been reigning in Swatini for about 800 years until some guy called Dlamini came and took over. While I can tell you the history, she knows it. Yeah. Bafika again 1840, 1820. Abadlamini, Japan, indoda thize lapha ngabomhlaba yalingana. Yiko kwathiwa bafawela ubongo. Ngokuhlehlete. Kuba bebaleka behlasele ehlaka nje bephuma napha benyukele eSwatini. Sabapha umhlaba kancane base befuna a little bit more as visitors often do. They come, we give them one room, they want the forum. It's part of our history. So inike lo menzi kaBhulu Maseko, he represented ACIPS-AFRIKA Center for Intangible Phenomena Studies. Bazoyichaza ubaba engihamba naye ubaba owusho seshiriye uzosichaza achaze yonke into bese yangibiza bese isikhatsa ukuthi welcome baba. Okay, he's whispering something in Ghanaian language but I asked him to, but it's fine. Thank you for being here. I hope you enjoyed the deliberations and please participate. We thought we were going to make this actually, we can still do, but I was telling Wale that we might want to not make it a lecture. No one is going one lecture after another. We would like to make it interactive. We want to participate, interactive some type of something. I come from the Institute of Africology also, so we believe even the way you set up your environment has to be Africological, not Eurocentric. So, but Muhamba was cut, so Walia, take it away.
Good morning, colleagues. And I must first start by apologizing for the delay in start due to technical issues and some people not being able to arrive due to traffic because they're coming from far. Some of them are going to be presenting today and they are on their way. So that's sorry, I'm not that tall. I was just apologize for that. Okay. So I want to just give a brief context to our meeting with the African Institute of Intangible Phenomena Studies. And then after that, Baba Bennett come through and speak to you about the institution and how it began, and also take us into the program. And then there is a change, I just need to announce that, to the program. Ubaba Ben is going to come first, and then we're going to ask Mam Kizi to come in afterwards, because I think her voice is very vital. Being a DUT person, a DUT academic who practices African spirituality and traditional practices at DUT, it ties that world to the academic world very nicely, so it's important that she came through. And I asked her to come through before, and then things went left, and then I just said to her, Mama, can you please? And then last night, and then she was like, no, I actually sent it on Friday, you saw it last night. And then she said, no, it's okay. I'm like, you see, mothers, they're just like, you see this child, what? This is my child, so I'll do it. All right, so we are just going ahead with the program. People will find us on the way, as a journey normally is. Sometimes you start to walk, you just start off, and on the way, as we were singing, people join in. So I'm sure by the end of the day, or by at least just before the festive, people will be here that need to be here, and we will meet them soon. Okay, so just to give a bit of context, for those of you that don't know me, Wade Mungu, and I'm with the Department of the Excellence for Learning, Center for Excellence in Learning and Teaching. And there is that I do e-learning for staff, right? But we did, when Fees Must Fall and Roads Must Fall came up, the opportunity a bit, I won't say a bit, something greater came along when we had to look at what position duty was going to take. So we went through that process of what are we going to do, how are we going to do this. And then we had our first UCDG program under UCDG, yeah, let me just say that. Our first UCDG project where we were just defining what decolonization was. When everybody was everywhere about it, with every emotion, fear, uncertainty, what does it mean, what are the implications and all of that. So I think by the end of that project, we had kind of defined for ourselves what decolonization was going to be. And then the second time around, we decided that it was going to be something very practical, that people could actually start to look at their modules, look at their at the work that they do at DUT, look at themselves, and start to deconstruct things apart and start to actually put and implement decolonization into their curriculum. So we don't want to just always talk about it, we'd like to do it. So with Menzi, I've known him for ever, for a very long time. I don't even know where to start. But we have bumped into each other in many places for work. So one of the spaces is the Africology Center, where he would invite me to certain events. The second place was the Planetary Health organization that we were working with, and under there, it's a very medical field, and under there they were like, it's so medical, what we do, the research and everything that we do is extremely up here, and we're doing it to change our climate, our environmental health, and our personal health, but we don't know how to bring it down to the people. We need the arts involved. So that's how Menzi and myself and another colleague from Brazil got involved to bring in the arts and indigenous knowledge systems and the culture. So from there, we just kept developing our working relationship as well as our sibling one. And so when he came to me this time around and said, Wale, we have come up, we have a new institute that is focusing on making tangible African spirituality and traditional practices in academia. I said, awesome, because my group, Mam Kiza, knows just been asking, and a few other people, when are we going to bring this to the forefront and talk about it? Because spirituality is a very big part of our beings. I think in whatever culture you come from. Unfortunately, the Eurocentric systems have split these personalities, and we tend to operate in different personalities in different silos. And what I mean by this is during the week we are working. From a certain time to a certain time, you are an employee. After that, you become a mother or a father in the house. That's already a split personality. Then, abanye abantu, we wait until Sunday to wear our spiritual self. And yet, in our lives before colonization, this was all of these personalities were in one, and it was a continuous practice. It was a continuous Thanksgiving setting where you are cooking, you are gathering food, you are giving thanks for the provision, you are giving thanks for the family that you are sitting with to eat. And when you're raising children, when you're doing this, all these sacred things that happen. So it was a brilliant opportunity for me to take. I just thought I can't miss this opportunity. I'm not an expert in the spirituality, African spirituality, and because I'm a colonized child, unfortunately. But I do, I was very happy when Menzi approached me to work with their institute to bring this to life. And so this is a series, it's not going to just end today. We will be doing this continuously. So I hope you will be taking, because it is such a broad topic. There are so many aspects of it that we need to touch on. We've got LGBT. The queer studies. See these letters, they become a lot. And then I forget, my apologies. But let me just say, there's the queer studies of it. There's also the out just that on its own when we're dealing with these mental health issues as well. There's so many aspects to it, and we can't fit each one in detail, but we'll have a broad approach. Start going into those spaces. If someone brought up arts and how most artistic people are kind of aware of a different world, you know, and we have someone to speak to that today as well for our exercise. I just wanted to highlight something from our philosophy of education about doing this, because doing such workshops aligns with what DUT expects of us, especially under this project. And that was for us to establish cross-disciplinary research groups focused on societal changes, prioritizing African-centered approaches and methodologies. So we're definitely exploring that, or starting to explore that today. And then create physical and virtual spaces for informal knowledge sharing that validate diverse ways of knowing, including indigenous knowledge systems. Don't have it? Okay, I have to just tap it. I don't know. All right, and we had to implement a mentorship program, but some of these things we will do. Okay. We need to implement a mentorship program pairing experienced practitioners. There's Baba Beni there, Mam Kize, coming through, Baba Nyawose, and there are a few other people who come in. They are the practitioners of this, and they come and teach us what we need to know, make us aware of the things that we need to know, because not all of us have access to that world. But we should be aware. We have students in the classrooms who sit and have these issues and have nowhere to go. Right? And I don't even like to call them issues. They're these gifts, and they don't have anyone to help them unpack it. Okay? So another one is to organize regular events. This is a series, as I've said, so we will be organizing more events that foreground this, and to develop a digital platform to facilitate ongoing communication. We do have the epistemic depot space, but we're going to work on it to make sure everybody that's new this year, or the ones that are not in that space, come onto that space. So I would like to then now call up on okay. Let me take, is it what you said, see? Baba Ben, is it what you sent when in the morning you was writing the speech?
This morning, Baba Ben.
Don't be reading my WhatsApp.
Yeah, we are reading. Mm. Juicy, juicy. But it's on. Yes, it is. Are you not connected? Are you able to make it a little bit bigger?
Yes.
Mm. Yes.
So, can I, Baba Ben, is this what you wanted to share?
No, okay. Say the introduction one. Okay, maybe I have to pitch it on the web.